came to London about a year and a half ago and did a postgraduate diploma at Shaw, which is part of Central St. Martin's, and then did a one-year MA course at City Guilds down in Kennington. Before that, though, I was a broadcast journalist for many years. I studied politics. I did a master's degree in U.S. in politics, and then began working in New York for ABC News, which is American Broadcasting Corporation. I covered all sorts of things, arms control. I covered the West Bank, the Intifada, all sorts of things like that, and found myself moving to Los Angeles then in the 1990s, the early 1990s, in the aftermath of the big LA riots there that pretty much changed the face of the city. So I did a couple of years' work in kind of the violent aftermath of that, and then I had a baby and decided to do documentaries. The first thing I did was a documentary on the Northridge earthquake. But then I did a series on World War I with the BBC here in London, and I actually did a long series on Rome, actually. I think I was in the British School of Rome when you were there, in fact, maybe. I started my own production company, and then I did some things on ancient Palestine and on the Haitian Revolution of the 18th century. So I have all of this visual archive, and I have all of this journalistic sensibility in my background. I think I raise that, and not just to sort of inform you about what I was doing for all the years before I came into painting, but because I had sort of a journalistic crisis, not to be too earnest, but with the invasion of Iraq by the United States. I was working as a journalist. A lot of my friends were still journalists, and became somewhat overwhelmed, and I'd say almost speechless by the event that began to unfold. And I really do hate to sound sanctimonious about it, but it propelled me right on out of journalism, and it propelled me back into drawing and painting. Probably a little too literally at first. I began to kind of try and express through a series of pictures based, primarily on expense things, the way I felt trapped and degraded by the events that were being done in my name. And I did a long series on this, both paintings and charcoal drawings and that sort of thing. I realized later, again, I'm always realizing how I've been pulling in the sorts of news coverage that I've done, so I realized later that I was leaning clearly very heavily on, actually somebody pointed this out to me some years later, but it's undoubtedly true, that I was leaning on these sorts of the visual archive that I put together in my head over the last 20 years of the news coverage that I've done. I came to London in about 2008 and started doing a series of paintings that were along the same sorts of line, in that they were direct reactions, I think, to the sorts of political events that were still unfolding. I call these human stains. They were done on raw linen, which was saturated in turpentine, and then just a very diffuse use of oil paint that would seep and bleed out of its form. And then I'd go back in. The original source material for this was photocopies of different, discrete body parts on a Xerox machine, and then kind of reassembled into this strangely dismembered body. Getting a little melodramatic, but that's something to me. And I do realize again that probably the thinking on this was affected by the work I'd done on World War I, where I'd spent a year looking at dismembered bodies of soldiers on the front. So, I'm just very well aware, and I'm constantly trying to tap back into, again, the visual archive that I've accumulated over